Toy life. To catch these ghosts, you need the real Ghostbusters.
Nice landing, Han Solo.
Spaceships and Luke Skywalker sold separately. Batteries not included.
That toy life.
What up, guys? It's another week of That Toy Life. Y'all ready to hear about toys?
Yes.
Ready to hear, Ray?
Yes.
What about
Yes,
you,
please.
Ashley?
I'm ready.
I'm ready to hear about some toys.
Well, first off, I just have to say, apparently the new Dungeons and Dragons a hit, right?
I loved it. Yeah, I mean, I put it in. I made a post about it. Like I rated it 10 out of 12. I enjoyed it that much. It was. I mean, as me and Austin have been in, like we finally gotten into Dungeons and Dragons recently. So
I'm just starting my first game, so it's yeah.
So as people have kind of like gotten kind of new to it and stuff, it was really fun. Like there was like subtle. I don't know if you got it, but did you kind of get subtle parts that felt like that would be part of a Dungeons and Dragons session? Like for instance, Sync, the paladin character that they have helped them for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley?
So by the time when we finished the movie, we kind of came up with the conclusion that he almost comes across like he's either a guest player. He almost comes across like a guest player that kind of joins in for just a little bit, or he's the DM's assist character that's always super powerful.
Yeah. I've only played Dungeons and Dragons once, and that was a long time ago.
It's so much fun. Like I would say the graveyard scene is basic can happen all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
What happens in the graveyard?
Well, you saw the first part of it when they did the little 5 questions joke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That goes on more and more. They basically have to keep asking bodies over and over because they're trying to find out what happened to this helmet. And it's basically they're going to list of who died after who, trying to find where the helmet ended up at.
Now, I'll say I liked it. It was a good movie. Actually, the theater I went to, I was the only one in there, so that was awesome. It was during the day, and it was a smaller theater, so that was great. I will say it did run a little long in certain spots because I found myself looking at my phone, like, checking email. But other than that, I mean, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed myself, so.
I thought it was a big upset because I thought it was, I mean, when it was first announced, obviously I rolled my eyes because I just remember the original Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm like, they're just not going to do it justice. It's, I just felt like it's just going to be another cash grab. And then the first trailer, I was kind of like, I still don't know how I feel about this. But I think the second trailer they released was way more promising. And then it just seemed like after that, it's just had a hype train. And I just heard nothing but good stuff. And it seems to be very loyal to actually the game, like playing the game. That's kind of the idea. Instead, I guess in my head, I have the more fantasy aspects going through, like the more hard, like, wow, they should really, why wouldn't they go hardcore fantasy? But then, when you think about playing Dungeons and Dragons, it's having fun with your friends. And it can be goofy. It could be scary. It could be all kinds of stuff,
And that's one thing. The one criticism I do have, besides it kind of ran long, was there wasn't enough cool. There was cool creatures in there, but I didn't see enough of them. Like that one cat lady with a little cat kid.
Oh yeah, the tabaxi.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know what they're called.
They're called
I wanted to see. I wanted to see more of that. And maybe like one of the main characters be something like that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably more along the lines of they're doing a story that they can do, and also they're probably not trying to overstep or overreach what they're capable of at the moment. Because notice,
right? Probably budget.
Yeah, but also one great thing. I mean, I think you might appreciate it. You might have liked it too, actually. The amount of animatronic, the prosthetics that they did for people that were non-human. Yeah, because there were, I think, 3 different non-human races you see. And they're all practical. Like it's like, old Jim Henson animatronic head stuff. It was the Dragonborn, which is like the dragon people. The Tabaxi, which are the cat people, and the Arakaka, which are the bird people. Which I think I sent a TikTok to y'all earlier, Austin. If you look at it in the Discord, but they're basically like bird people. And there's a great scene at the beginning that has to do with one named Jarnathan.
Jarnathan.
The screaming for him every time.
Yeah, that didn't go any way like I thought it was going to go. when they were wanting Jonathan to be there.
Yeah.
I was like, what's maybe he just knows him, and
I really think Jonathan should hear this part. I think
yeah.
it's good. Like it starts out with Chris Pine and Michelle Rodriguez. They're in prison, and one of the first things they're doing is they're talking to the parole board about trying to convince them to let them off now. And he's just telling this whole story, and while he's telling it, he's wanting this one other judge person to appear, is this Eric Cocker named Jonathan, and he's wanting to say, I think, and he'll like stop the story mid sentence, like, and then I think Jonathan would really like this part. Do you know when he's gonna be here? He'll be here when he be here. Keep going. You'll love this. You'll love.
I can't wait to see it. I want to check it out. I mean, unfortunately, my wife and I, we did go to the theaters, but she's not a Dungeons and Dragons person as much. So the movie we wanted to see was John Wick 4, and oh my God, I don't know, Ashley, fantastic. Are you into the John Wick series at all?
I haven't seen any of them. So
okay, I was going to say the fourth one, hands down, is my favorite. It's just, it took it to another level, and to be long, because I'm thinking, oh my God, this movie is insane. Like it's going to be almost 3 hours long.
Yeah,
it does not feel it. The action is so nonstop that it really does. It eats up the time. It feels like an hour and a half. I mean, it's a quick movie. It feels like the action sequences are phenomenal. And then they bring in Donnie Yen, and I just loved his character. I mean, when I first heard about his casting and his, the fact that he was going to be a blind assassin sort of, I'm like, really? They're doing that again, like cheer it all over again, Yeah. But completely different ball game, dude. You remember Cheer It from Rogue One, Ashley, right? Yeah,
no, he doesn't remember.
But I mean, he was just I mean, he still had like comedic lines here and there and stuff, but he was just a really good character, but kind of a more serious, stoic character. With John Wick 4, it was like they just let him have fun. So he has a lot of comedy. His story is very touching. You feel for him, because I mean, it's like basically the organization took his eyes. He sacrificed those eyes gave those eyes for his job,
and he was retired.
Occupation. Yeah, and he was retired. And it's like he gets pulled back into the whole mess of things, and he's just like, "You don't want to get me involved. Like it's going to be bad." But obviously, he has to get involved. Anyway, long story short, it was a great movie. I plan on going back. I want to see Dungeons and Dragons in theaters. I think I want to try to catch that before it leaves. What else is in theaters? I'm trying to. Creed 3. I watched at home. It was actually really good. What else is out?
Mario just came out.
Yeah, it came out Wednesday.
That's right. I'm completely
surprisingly middling reviews.
Here's the thing. I've read the reviews on these, and usually when movies come out, I'll kind of just glance over the consensus. And what I'm seeing is the gamers are like, "This is it. This is the Mario movie you want because it follows the game." Critics aren't liking it because they're just like, there's no essence to it. It looks like all the reviews I've read looks like they're really looking for something in this movie. And I'm like, guys, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, really.
Chill out a little bit, So I don't know. I'm hearing conflicting things. I do hear that I see that the reviews are not that great, but it's like just critically, it's not a darling. It's not a critical darling. It's more for the fans. Yeah. And I hear it is wall to wall, just Easter egg after Easter egg. So
we're going to see it probably next week.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that out. What else is out though? I felt like there was something else out that I want to see.
You can go see Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I originally did. I enjoy the Ant-Man movies, and I would like to see it. Is it not good?
It's good.
I haven't.
I mean, if you go see it in 3D, you might get Jonathan Majors trying to strangle you through the screen. I'm joking. Jonathan Majors, please don't hurt me.
And then Shazam. I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Oh yeah, that did come.
Shazam's pretty good.
And I have zero interest in that. Zero. I mean, I didn't even care for the first one that much, though. Yeah. And it wasn't anything like, I don't hate the first one. It was just kind of like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where you watch it and you go, wow, I guess like I never read the comics or anything. I just there's nothing here for me. I don't understand anything that's going on beyond the basic Shazam, It just didn't have a draw for me, but I don't know. I had high hopes for the second one. I thought it would be good.
I went in with low expectations and was really, really surprised at how good it was. So
make sure your expectations are low when you go into it.
Yeah, really.
just
because it's not the villains are not from the comics. They're made up.
I feel like that worked against it probably as a part of the film that would draw people in, because I could see a lot of people not caring, because it's like, if it's just somebody we made up, it can feel like Richard Pryor and Superman 3 all over again. It's just
Right.
He's not a character from the comics, but it's Richard Pryor. Let's go laugh at it.
So going back to Dungeons and Dragons for a second, did and Ray, I'm speaking to you specifically because Austin hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Did watching the movie make you want to go buy any of the figures?
Oh,
that Hasbro announced.
I kind of, I did before. I haven't bought them yet because of budget.
Yeah.
But I would say, whereas before the movie, I was only interested in probably getting Egan. Afterwards, I could get more of them. Like, I love Simon. Simon was a great character. Holga was great. I would say the only problem with Holga is I feel like the figure didn't do Michelle Rodriguez
I looked
justice.
at it earlier. It's not good.
But other ones look pretty good so far. I would love it if they made a Thimbershad figure. If the big fat dragon.
Yeah.
You think they won't?
Oh yeah.
But they made one for Raykor, which is, unfortunately, you don't really see Raykor. You only see him as a flashback because he took part in a battle that was over 100 years ago. But they made a big figure for his character, which
I feel like they would make one probably for the other one, maybe if it's
maybe
sell enough or something. I don't know.
Maybe I've seen plushies for him, but I haven't seen an actual like Hasbro figure.
But when you want like that in scale with the figures, though, and that'd be kind of crazy. That'd be like a, what do you call it, HasLab kind of thing.
Yeah, because he's big. He's
huge. Yeah,
he's like watching a bumblebee fly.
Yeah, he is.
like Elliot the dragon.
yeah.
That's what I mean when I saw the picture. I'm like, God, it's like a Elliot.
Yeah.
But what about Hugh
What's
Grant's
up, Scott Knight?
Oh, Forge. Forge is great. I don't want to say anything without spoiling it. But Forge.
No, that's fine.
It's fun. I
love Hugh, and he's in movies and stuff. He's I don't know. I've always enjoyed his work, but God, here lately he is really. It's like he's really starting to crack under the press. Like he just does not. It's like as the years go by, he's getting more and more like the cracks are forming, and now there's all this stuff where he's basically had to admit to people that every movie I'm pretty much a dick. Like there's at least one day where I have a flip out on everybody or something. I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, even even to the point where he was being interviewed during the Academy Award, the Oscars or something like that, and they I think her name was Ashley Green. I think she's a supermodel. Was actually doing red carpet interviews, and she had him talking to him, and God, it was the most awkward thing you've ever seen. If you haven't seen it, you do need to look it up. He gives funny answers, but at the same time, it's just like if it was me, I'd be like, Hugh, stay home, dude.
Yeah.
Like if they asked me, you want Hugh to attend tonight? I'd be like, no, don't bother him.
He's good.
Don't bother him. Just let him stay home. But I hear he's good in the movie. I hear he was
fun. He was a lot of fun. I can't say without.
I know.
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
He's fun. I feel like the writing, because I feel like he wouldn't have joined this film otherwise, because I think he said in an interview he liked the script that they wrote. Like he liked what he saw. And so even though he didn't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons, I felt like he did a good job. He put effort into the role. At least it felt that way to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Like I love the little joke about like he's announcing this big arena thing at one point in the movie, and they've got him raised up on this giant like thin platform, and he's like he does this whole speech, and then at the end he just like looks down. Please get me down now. This is absurdly high.
Yeah,
it's much higher than we agreed on.
Yeah.
What about? I was going to say, have any of y'all read? And we're talking about comic book movies and stuff. Have y'all? Or not comic book, but fantasy movies. We were talking about DC earlier and Shazam. Have y'all read the comments that James Gunn made recently about like how Marvel's struggling to come up with good stories since the snap or whatever, the blip?
I saw the headline, but I didn't like dig into the article. Was it like negative?
It just seemed like he was just kind of making a point that, hey, it just, inherently is harder to come up with something because, just because everything was kind of, boop, and you have this, I don't know, you have a lot of moving parts that you have to account for, and then things you have to write to. And I just thought it was interesting that he even said that, that he would even admit that. I just feel like something like that would be tight-lipped amongst any of the creatives. They wouldn't admit that it's just so hard to, with the choices they've made,
He's sort of severing his ties now. He's ending his little run, and he won't be doing any Marvel for a long time. So,
I mean, it seems like it, because I know he was saying
say what he wants to.
I saw where he was.
I was going to say that. I was going to say at the moment he's really got the only project with the MCU that's I feel like a lot of people are really anticipating more than others. Like,
yep.
This is like his movie is the first MCU movie that I am definitely going to go out to theaters to see. Definitely going to try opening weekend.
Yeah,
but
try not to cry.
Yeah, I'm worried. I hope it's as good as the first two, or at least it lives up to the first one. But I mean, I'm sure it's going to be good. But yeah, it's one of those things where he is cutting ties with Marvel, and so this will be the final one. And he also made comments like, I think he was very happy that they wrote it where Thor, like they wrote Thor away from the Guardians because they had him with the Guardians, and he did not want Thor in the story apparently. Like he didn't want to have to deal with that. And that's understandable because that's not his bag. I mean, he didn't start with Thor. So I'm excited to see him in the series, and I'm a total James Gunn supporter. But yeah, it's kind of sad that it ends that way where they're kind of like, well, or kind of ended whatever, and I'm like, whatever. But it also, are any of y'all excited for Deadpool, the new Deadpool coming up?
I'll be excited when I see something for it.
Yeah, it's too early for me.
Well, see, that was the thing. I'm kind of with you. I'm like Deadpool 2 was so good that if they didn't do another one, I'd be fine with it. But I've been hearing about Deadpool 3 for a while, but haven't seen anything of it yet. But we do know that
it's got a good selling point is that Hugh Jackman's going to be in it. That's
Hugh Jackman's coming back. Point. This is the reason why I'm bringing it up. So the only thing I've been hearing is like Hugh Jackman coming back to and coming back as Wolverine, and he's going to be in Deadpool. Mm-hmm. And so beyond that, I haven't heard any news. Well, today I actually saw this clip. It was uploaded on YouTube. I don't know if you follow Michael Rosenbaum's podcast. Actually, I know Ray does. Inside of You, he had Marina. How do you pronounce her name? Baccarin?
Marina Baccarin, I think.
Baccarin. Okay. He had Marina on and was talking to her. And that subject came up where he asked her, "Are you in Deadpool 3?" Have any of y'all heard about this?
I think she.
Okay, so she was like she doesn't know.
Oh.
She doesn't think she's going to be it. She said, and she was like, "Let me be I'm going to try to be as diplomatic as I can be." It really sounds like she is not happy with them bringing on Wolverine, and so I think that's going to cause her to bow out. Because if I'm right, I get where she's probably coming from. It was the Deadpool series. She only has so much to do in them already, and I bet the shift. Because she said, I think she was also making underhanded comments about the whole Disney merger and everything with Fox and Marvel. She basically was saying that was screwing everything all up, and that I think the focus must really just be on Deadpool and Wolverine to the point where she's like, I got nothing in this movie. I don't think I'm going to do it. So they're actually negotiating with her right now, and they have not agreed on anything yet. So she's probably not going to be in the movie. And if she
wasn't, that sort of ended her arc. In the second movie, like, and okay, I'll see you when you die. Bye bye.
Yeah, I'd be behind. Yeah, I'm behind her. I'd support her, but I feel the way she's coming out is like her part in the second movie doesn't sound any bigger. Like she literally got fridged. She got killed in like the first 10 minutes of the film, and didn't come back until the post credit. Till the credits started rolling almost.
Well, it was towards the end when he was, was dead for a little bit.
And that was why.
Then he got his little time. He got his timey-wimey thing, and then he did all the extra fourth wall jokes.
Yeah, right. And that was why I was like, I'm surprised that she's mad about it. kind of like you should know that it's expected that you're really, I don't know if the role, or maybe she thought that her role was going to be expanded in the third one, and then it ended up getting knocked back again because of the Wolverine stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So like, anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up. I thought that was pretty newsworthy today. I couldn't believe that she was admitting, that there's not, like, it's not all good. Seems like her relationship with Ryan Reynolds is fine though. I mean, she didn't really say anything about Hugh Jackman at all. I think she appreciated, like she is a fan, but she was just like, Ryan's a good guy. He's, driven. He's blah, blah, blah. I mean, she just basically put it all out there. So I don't know. It's kind of sad that it could go down, I don't know, not in a good light, but who knows? It's probably still going to be a good movie. I mean, it's probably going to be a big box office hit for sure if you got them two guys in it.
Yeah, true. Maybe. I don't know.
But I don't know. I'm excited for Super Mario.
I like I said, I'm not a big fan of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, so I hope this is his.
Well, dude, I thought we already had his see ya.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I think
bring him back now.
I think if he's coming back for any reason, I think it's just for this. Like, because I think he and Ryan are already, I think, good friends outside of doing movies, and I think that's probably the only reason he probably finally convinced him. And they probably also got Disney's blessing to go forward with it.
Yeah.
And they probably also got Feige's, Kevin Feige's, blessing to go forward with it, with, I guess, whatever idea they have to include him in a way that I guess doesn't mess with whatever they have planned with MCU and Deadpool in the future.
Do you think it's going to be as adult as the first two movies?
I think they're going to let it. They need to they need to bring back Buena Vista Pictures.
Yeah,
Hollywood Pictures.
That was literally what they did. Is like anytime there was any kind of R-rated movies, like if it's a little too up there, a little too adult, let's just throw it at Buena Vista. It's close enough.
Yeah, I think it'll be R. I don't know that they'll have the Disney logo in front of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say
if they do, it'll be like a joke kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like something, it gets ripped down or something by Wolverine's claws, or Deadpool shoots it and blows it up, and then the Fox logo comes up behind it. Just something crazy to say, hey, this is not really a Disney movie, y'all.
Yeah, and also just in Deadpool fashion, it'll be funny and all that.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. So do we have any toy news?
I think we do. You may have to show it. I don't know if I can present them, but I can try.
Uh-oh.
Let me see.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. You don't have access. Duh. So I'm going to have to figure that out later.
Let me see if I can share.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I can share stuff, but I can't add it to the thing.
Well, there we go. I can share it. You can share your screen. Cool. That looks awesome.
So tell us about this. Ray, you probably are.
I have no clue who this is. It just looks cool.
Yeah, so it comes from.
Is this from the?
This is like the Dungeons and Dragons. This NECA is like redoing the classic LJN figures from like the early '80s.
Ah, okay.
Right, of Dungeons and Dragons, but they're making them in the big ultimate scale or whatever you want to call it. So these are actually kind of cool to me. Now, I never owned them as a kid. But I definitely saw them on the store shelves and wanted to get them, but there was other things on the store shelves that I wanted more, so I never got around to getting any of these. But I do have a friend who has some of them, had some of them as a kid. So and we played with them, and when they fought G.I. Joe and other stuff when we were together, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, these look really cool, and I guess if NECA's doing it, I guess it's going to be pretty cool. It's weird that Hasbro isn't doing it, because Hasbro just put out the animated stuff.
That's what I was at first. I'm thinking wasn't Hasbro in charge of this, but
Hasbro owns.
So this is specifically like kind of like a redone figure, like they're like the original figures, but in high detail.
And NECA scale or whatever you want to call it. So you got Warduke over there, and then this Strongheart guy with the real sword over here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are
dagger.
Those are really cool. And I think like the Warduke's already out. I haven't seen him on store shelves yet.
I think I've seen him. I really do. I feel like I've seen him maybe at Target
that guy
or somewhere.
Right there.
Yeah, on the right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him as a Funko Pop figure. Actually, he's one of those. I haven't gotten deep enough to the lore, so I don't know who that is. Brittany, my wife knows who he is, but I have no clue.
Yeah, I the one thing about the movie is it really made me kind of want to jump into the lore to learn more about D&D. And like I said, I've only played one time, and it was a long time ago. I was in high school, and some things were happening around the time I was playing, so I got out of the game really quick. But I mean, it does sound interesting, and I wouldn't mind trying it to see what it would be like again. But yeah, these figures look amazing.
No, this one is really cool, and I like all the stuff that comes with.
Oh yeah,
this little potion bottle.
Yep. Yeah.
God, I love how all the details, all the weapons. Look at that! Oh my God, that looks so good.
Was there something? Oh yeah, I'm gonna put another thing here in the chat. Just a second here, because so we can talk about that if you want to do that one next. Awesome.
Yeah, we can do it now.
I guess since you have access, you could just keep pulling it up in the same thing. Here we go. All right. So thanks to Ska Knight. Thank you for sharing that info. I forgot all about it in our list of things. So apparently McFarlane has decided to do a collector's edition kind of thing here. Whereas, I guess it's going to be similar to not like a HasLab, because these figures I think are going to be like the rumor is like $29.99 each, and they're going to be a little more detailed, a little more paint apps kind of thing compared to their normal thing, lines. But it's going to go across everything he makes: Spawn, DC, whatever else McFarlane does. I don't know.
That is weird. I wonder. Yeah, I'm trying to think like what it would.
Well, so the rumor that I saw, the first three figures are DC figures. Some figure called the Abyss, which is some newish Batman villain that I've never heard of. Action Comics #1 Superman. So the original version of Superman. And then the Golden Age Green Lantern. The one whose
Alan Scott.
Yeah, the one whose weakness was wood.
Yeah.
No, not the wood. So this is going to be interesting. I'm assuming they're going to be super limited. Yeah, it looks like okay. Well, they're just speculating in this. I forgot he does Warhammer stuff too. So I don't know. $29.99. It seems like toy companies are just hitting us over the head more and more with higher cost, and I don't know.
I feel like they keep raising. Yeah, they keep raising that bottom line. Like the bottom line now, like for example, NECA baseline $34.99 for most figures, or until you get bigger. And I could have that argument all day because I'm having the same struggles with food. I'm getting to my wits' end with paying extra money at food now, but it's just I guess everything's going up.
Yeah, I just do the hook thing. You just imagine your giant meal in front of you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's what it's going to be, right?
It's the paint colored cream looking ice cream stuff where he's throwing it.
That's what it's going to be. I'm telling you. No, this is right here's really cool. Because we had talked about this off camera, but we mentioned this release, and I'm actually really excited about this this new Hasbro release, because if we talked about it before, it was the comic version of Black Chrysanthemum. He just looked like a reissue of Chewbacca, just painted dark, almost black,
and the little shield stuff, his little cross thing. Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be so much better. I mean, even though it's based off the show, Book of Boba Fett, it's still leaps and bounds better. This is I think I'm going to be buying this. He looks so cool. I love his braids, like his beard. That was one thing I really loved was the plaited beard. Oh, look at that, man.
Yeah, that's
all
a hefty
paper.
boy.
Yeah, that is cool. And
that's
I
cool.
saw it's already on the display case at Star Wars Celebration right now. I saw some early
that did
pics.
start.
That starts tomorrow. Yeah. Then Sky Knight says, to be honest, I hope they come up with huge bases like Toy Biz Marvel Legends did back in the day. All right, and I'm assuming you're talking about the McFarlane figures. Yeah, that would be kind of cool, but I don't see him doing that. So the normal figure is $22.99 now, and if the rumors are true that these are going to be $29.99 figures, and they're supposed to have a higher level of detail and paint, maybe an extra accessory. I don't know that they'll do any extra for the bases.
Yeah, I agree with Sky Knight. I wish they would go with the huge bases. Now they're going to kind of do that with the new what's it called? Not the Toonie Terror. It's the new Warner Brothers line that they've got with
the
I'm trying to remember
the Bugs
movie
Bunny
Maniacs.
Superman. Yeah,
the movie Maniacs. See, I've got the Harry Potter and the Wicked Witch pre-ordered, and those look great. And they come with big display stands and stuff. But I mean, look right here. I'll show you at the top. Talking about like huge bases, like the Toy Biz toys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at my Spider-Man, like right there. I mean, he came with this big like.
Show me again.
Like right there, I'm pointing at it, in the Green Goblin back there behind me. I mean, that look at that. It's like big. That was a big piece, a big set piece that came with Spider-Man, and I bet. They were probably $12, $10 a piece. I mean, Green Goblin came with his glider plus a stand to put the glider on, like, and they hold up. These are great figures that I have. I mean, I love them, and they display well. They look great. Look, I have him hooked up, to the thing. I mean, it's just. Yeah, I would love for him to come with bases and stuff. I mean, which McFarlane Toys is doing a good job of that. Like my Superman, they do these flight stands and stuff like that. I'm digging that. I think they should do some display stuff. Yeah, they need to do more display
because most of them come with the little black base. That's it, and I'm fine with that. My biggest issue with McFarlane right now is just over time, these figures don't stand well. Every time I come up to my room, there is always a figure that's like on the floor. He's still attached to the base, but it's like his legs have bent over far enough. The ankle joints are so weak that they just bend over far enough where he just falls backwards, forwards, whatever. And that sort of, gets on my nerves as well as the diaper. I'm done with the diaper.
Setting them in those. Yeah, you have to start setting them in those like superhero poses where their legs are splayed out and they're like, it's almost like they're doing karate moves and stuff like that, so they won't fall over. It's insane.
So TCP Toy says his McFarlane figures don't fall. Man, I don't know.
Oh, TCP got you.
Yeah, but my McFarlane figure, not all of them. I'm not saying all of them fall, but yeah, there's quite a few. Like the recent Shazam, not the movie Shazam, but the regular Shazam. He falls all the time. I was
say that's probably just because of Zachary Levi. It's just it keeps falling.
I'm looking now. Like General Zod always falls. That Dark Knight Returns Batman falls. Who else? Atrocitus falls. I can't remember when I came up here. It's I can't remember who was down. Somebody was down tonight when I came up here, and I was just like,
Blackhawk was down.
Yeah,
it was just like my April O'Neil doesn't want to stand, even with a display stand. It's just like, ugh. It's like you can't. She's her ankles. She's on like high heel shoes, but her ankles are just placed oddly and built funny. I don't know. I can't get her to. General Zod, I'm sure that's good. I can't get her to stand that well, so I always have to set her up with somebody or. Set her up with somebody. I have to like set her up on somebody or I kind of got her mic stand, like the cable that runs off the microphone is bendy, so I kind of use that as a little bit of a stand to kind of hold her up forward a little bit, but it doesn't make that good of a difference. But yeah.
Oh, what do we got here?
Struggles. Yeah, you tell me, Ashley, what's this wave 4? Tell me about this.
Super 7 Wave 4 G.I. Joe Ultimates. I've been waiting for this. Actually, in my haul, I have some of these to show off tonight. from Wave 1, they weren't going to announce another wave to pre-order until they started shipping some of the others. Well, Wave 1 just ships, and now I guess it's time to do Wave 4. In this wave, Baroness, and this is all based on the Sunbow cartoon from the 80s. So this is why I like these compared to like G.I. Joe Classifieds or something, which they're cool too. But these definitely have that nostalgia feel, just because now they're super high priced. At $55, man, that's steep per figure.
That's why I haven't jumped into the Super 7 Ultimates or whatever you want to call these. The Disney ones they put out look good. The Turtles ones they have look good. They're just so expensive.
I will say you hold off, and most of the Turtles you can get for like $30 instead of that 55. Yeah, you have to wait, obviously like a year after they've debuted, and then you can hit some of these stores and you can start picking them up for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, for some reason that Casey Jones always looked really cool because he's just like an updated version of my classic Casey Jones figure. Mm-hmm. So I would definitely love to get him.
Yeah, but that Zartan is going to be cool because he turns blue. The plastics, the skin on him turns blue, so that's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep, see?
Okay.
Yep. I guess it's going to be like the original toy where you put him out in the sun and he turns blue. That'd be kind of cool. And then of course Stalker, and he has that cool backpack, rocket backpack that he has in the beginning, the intro of the cartoon. So that's cool. Yeah,
cool. They have all the alternate heads and stuff too.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're the value I think is what I'm not saying the value is good. You get a lot of accessories with the figures, but still $55 is a little steep. And I've yet to review any of them, so I don't know the quality on these particular figures. So what we got?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's exclusive to if you buy it from Super 7. If you don't, then you don't get that exclusive pack with extra weapons. What else we got before we get into their main topic of the night?
I think we had, let's see,
you can always use
Hasbro
more
packaging.
G.I. Joes, Sky Knight. Everybody can use more G.I. Joes.
I'm like that with everything. It's like I don't need more of anything because I just have no room.
I know it.
But I always end up buying like my beautiful RoboCop. Can't get enough of him. He's so beautiful.
So this is okay. So this just broke not too long ago, like maybe a couple hours ago, that Hasbro's going back to the window packaging.
Well, not completely.
Well, for the collector grade stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Classifieds, Black Series, Marvel Legends, Power Rangers Lightning Collection. So I think that's good. I opened up my first one, which is Sergeant Slaughter, and it was okay. It doesn't. You don't get the. I think there's this thing that's missing because you can't see the figure. Like if you were.
Oh, it would kill me. I have to see. I go through all my figures. When I'm shopping, I have to look for all the flaws. No, he's got a splotch. Get him out of here. Nope, he's not symmetrical. Get him out of here. I mean, I'm real picky when it comes to the toys.
Yeah. Now I do like the fact that when I opened it up, you don't have those hard plastic, twist ties on everything. It was this brown, I don't know, ropish kind of stuff that I could snip with scissors like really easily.
Mm-hmm.
And because you can't do that so much with those twist ties because that metal rod going through the twisty part, unless you got some snips or something, which
Listen, I became I don't know. It's second. I could do that stuff in my sleep now. Like you just hand me toy packaging and I'll be asleep. I'll open it and I'll do all the twist ties. I've done so much of it in my life that I don't know. I've got the system down for the twist ties for some reason. I always could just break into them things.
But it looks like this doesn't happen until 2024. So we still got a year worth of.
Any reason why? Was there any rumors as to like?
I don't know. The only thing I could probably say is fan demand. There's probably so so many complaints about it. Maybe some bad press about it. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm just surprised they because I mean it seemed like such a step forward, you know, in a lot of people's eyes. This kind of feels a little bit of a step back, but I mean I'm not going to complain. But I know there's
you know what they'll do though in 2024 they'll be like, we're going to give you the window packaging back at a $2 increase in the price of the figure. You know, it's like, oh, here we go again. You've already raised the price like 3 times in a year. Let's raise it one more. Whatever. Here's some cool stuff now. You know, I don't care about that Hulk and the Bruce Banner, but that Captain Marvel, man, she was my Captain Marvel growing up from the Avengers. So that, you know, I mean, y'all probably know her as Photon or whatever she's called from the MCU.
Oh, this is Monica Rambeau.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But you know, kind of early 80s, she was part of the Avengers team, and yeah, she was my Captain Marvel. And that Doctor Doom gives me Secret Wars vibes too. So that's kind of like a good combo there.
Ooh.
Yeah, $30 for a window box. I mean, pretty much that's probably what they'll do. Yep.
So you said you're not as interested in this?
No, I'm not as interested in that. I've seen that like a bajillion times, that Gray Hulk. Don't give me another
Tobey Maguire. Looks like Tobey Maguire as Bruce Banner. I don't know why.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, look, it's cool Hulk, but Hulk, you know, we got a ton of Hulks.
What you gonna do, little Hulk? What you gonna do? You gonna go cry?
Oh, now here's the bad stuff right here. What? So here's Cosmic Legions Wave 2. And I wish the figures, we could blow them up bigger, but we can't.
Yeah.
But those things are absolutely freaking awesome. Not based on any property. You know, this is all straight up, you know, out of their heads at Four Horsemen Studios. But you're talking about some awesome action figures, man. They make the best. This is what I was talking about.
I like this one.
You know, this is not Mythic Legions. This is the Cosmic Legions. But yeah, you know, this might be what I end up going for. It's like the whole purpose of why do we collect toys, we'll talk about in a minute, but this might be the kind of thing that I just start looking for in the future instead of other stuff, right? Because just the attention to detail, the quality of the figures, you're paying more, but you're getting quality action figures with good I mean, look at the detail on that.
Yeah, I'm liking this.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. And the same thing, yeah, yes, toys are addictive, very addictive. My wife knows all about it. I had a scolding before I came up here to record.
She's like, I'll be listening if I hear you talking up them toys.
Yep.
No, I agree with you. These are really. I've seen them live. You know, these things are really well made. Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
I agree.
This is the all-in, so $235 for all those figures. But, it's 6 figures. So what's the math?
A lot of money.
235. Let me pull up my calculator.
The math is, I can't. That's
well, it's about $40. If that's 6 figures, it's $40 a figure. So you're paying less than a Super 7 Ultimates figure, you know?
Yeah, but that's assuming that I'm even going to buy a Super 7 Ultimates figure to begin with.
Oh, yeah. Like, you know, one of these.
Yeah.
So is that all the news?
I think that's all the news, man. That's all the news. What
That's
was our?
all the news.
I was going to say you had a topic I know you wanted to discuss tonight, something that was weighing on your heart.
Yeah, it's like I just want to talk about why, you know, last time we talked, last episode, it was, what was the big thing that we talked about? Like why
Or I think it was. I know you had posed the question. It was like, when do you stop?
When is
Or
enough?
when do you end it? Yeah, when's enough?
Yeah, and we talked about that last episode. So if you want to go back and look, check out That Toy Life YouTube channel and go back to the last episode.
Actually, just having some therapy.
Yeah, but right now it's like, why do you collect? So I'm trying to, I'm going through this little, it's not a midlife crisis. It's a mid toy life crisis kind of thing, right?
Okay.
Where I was so focused in on DC for a time, and I change like the wind. I'm fickle. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I see something new, and it's like, oh, let me go that way. But I've been with DC stuff for a while, and not to say I'm not going to collect DC stuff going forward. It's just, some stuff kind of gets stale, and when product comes out that you're not super hyped about, but you see other stuff that you are super hyped about, it makes me want to change focus. So, I guess the question I want answered, and y'all can help, is like, why do I do this? Why do I collect toys? But why do you collect toys? Like, what's the draw for you that makes you want to go out and go hunting down something, or spending that hard-earned cash on this figure or that figure, or a Funko Pop for this, or what's the makeup in your head that makes you want to do this?
To me, I know it's a multifaceted answer, because I'm just saying there's levels to what I collect, because there's some stuff I collect because I really dig it. And there's some stuff I collect just for nostalgia's sake, like toys that I didn't, maybe I couldn't find or couldn't afford when I was a child.
Yeah.
You get it, and it's sort of like an accomplishment. And plus but I'm also very selective about those kinds of things too. And usually the things that I liked, or things that I wished I had but never had, were usually the bigger things, and they can usually be something you can display, like a ship or a vehicle or something. But then, I with me, I know there's probably deeper reasons why I collect toys and stuff, or that's part of my hobby. But I have an appreciation for it. I guess it's just from especially when I started collecting Star Wars as a kid. It's just one of those things where you're playing in a sandbox, and you just, and you're also kind of acknowledging, in a way. It's like, as a kid, you're playing make believe, and you're inventing stories and using these as a kind of a vehicle to do that. And then I feel like as I got older, it was more about the appreciation for the toys and how they're made. So it would be that as I got older, I'd notice the toys would get better. And then some of the properties that I would get into, they would sometimes have really cool toy lines. And as you got older, those toy lines, they would be either for children, or they would have like collector lines. That's like in my high school, college years is when I really started noticing the adult. Well, I mean, I guess that's when they started it too, but I started to notice the adult collecting craze, where you could go to novelty stores or places like Suncoast, or places, and get the more collectible, expensive toys. Like, for example, you could buy all the Reservoir Dogs figures, or characters from Pulp Fiction, and and that was when McFarlane was getting big with doing stuff with Spawn and horror movies and stuff like that. So that was another. It was another way to, like, an escape, kind of like with the way TCP's talking about. It's a way to kind of take your mind off of it, of the world or your life, and you can kind of marvel at something else, and kind of admire art, or just kind of separate yourself from it. Maybe even just look at it and just imagine what you could do with it, or the stories that you could tell with it, and things like that. I don't know. There's so many ways, but a lot of it is just I like to collect, and I like to display. So I don't know. That's kind of the fast answer, sort of.
So I mean, would you say you have an addictive personality?
That's a hard one to say, because there's a lot of things that it's like, it's so easy for me to put stuff down and to just say I don't need that, or I don't want it. So I can just I don't know. Toys is probably the toys and movies are probably the most addictive things to me, and movies overall, because I'm a movie hog. I love it. I gotta and I have to have the best of the best. I want the best quality and all that kind of stuff. But and I guess it kind of translates to toys in a way too. But yeah,
that's
I've
your
always
way of supporting that movie, right? I mean,
that's another way. That's another thing too. Is
I'm of the movie.
Yeah, it's like my showing my support. Exactly. It's like my Turtles toys, man. I worship these. The NECA, you can't see them, they're behind the junk, but my NECA Turtles, man, they're, when I look at them, it just immediately takes me back to that first movie, and just nothing but good feelings, nothing but great feelings when I look at them. So that's just what they do for me. And, sometimes, I might catch myself like playing around with something or whatever, but for the most part, I'm just staring at these things. And I even think about that, as I get older. I'm like, why do I buy something if I'm just going to sit it on a shelf to look at? But dude, there's so many people that do things like that. Why do people buy alcohol to pour down their gullets when it does nothing for them? It does nothing. There's no benefit whatsoever. Why do we buy art and hang it on the walls? It benefits us none whatsoever. It's just what you like. So you do, because you could be huffing crack cocaine in your bathroom, or you could be collecting DC toys.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with huffing crack cocaine in your bathroom.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to kink shame. I'm sorry. but no, and like Scott and I here, the guy into toys, because it's a great way to collect the character or properties you love. Exactly. Like, it's just like wearing T-shirts with people you love. It's like, I want to have, like, I love RoboCop. I want to have the best looking toy of them all. Now, nostalgia's sake, I want some of the old RoboCop toys, or at least maybe a RoboCop figure, an original line, because it was a nostalgia thing. But to me, this is perfection. I don't need another RoboCop toy because of this. I mean, but
you say you don't need it. You say you don't need it.
Yeah, say you don't need it. That's the key thing I have to tell myself. And then because when you're younger, everything's a necessity. Yeah. Now it's like, do you need it, or do you not need it? And so that's kind of helped me too, to sort of focus in on my collecting too, because I was getting bad to where I'll just grab anything I liked. But so now I've tried to narrow that down. So.
And I guess that's probably what I'm trying to get to, because I look around this room and it looks like I'm a freaking hoarder. I mean, seriously. No, you can't see.
I've seen hoarders.
Dude, you can't see like the path that you can't walk through down this area over here, because it's like toys piled up, or the behind this area over here with boxes of toys that are not on display just because whatever reason, or the comics and books on this wall over here that you can't see. I'm trying to find a happy medium, right? I'm trying to find, like, I have this like Steve Sansweet mentality. Like, I think I'm going to be like the next Steve Sansweet, and I have to buy all or everything of, like, especially about the DC stuff. It's like, okay, I got to buy all the figures. I got to buy all the comics. I got to buy the Funko Pops. I got to buy the trading cards. I got to buy everything so I can have a museum one.
Right. And that's another thing. That's the magic word, museum. I look at a lot of this stuff like I'm preserving memories, like I'm preserving like art. I'm preserving something, this creation. And I think about it like in a way where maybe I would love to show it off to people, but I've noticed as I get older that people just don't give two craps about anything you have that you want to do anymore. At least in today's society, people are kind of just like, I got TikTok, I don't need you. But it's like, I look at it from my perspective, because when I go in people's houses, or if I go in like places, I want to see it all. I want to observe, and I'm commenting on it, and I'm just like, oh, I have questions, and I love it. Yeah. And like when people don't do that, it's kind of weird. It's kind of like, well, it's just sort of, I do. I've noticed that some people that walk in my house kind of have a stank face about it, sort of like a, and it's like whatever. But I don't know. I just love. Yeah, exactly. and I like, thanks, DCP. That's exactly right. And I've
support your addictive hobby.
Listen, my wife, I've like twisted her, because now she's worse than I am. She pretty much dominated the whole house. I've just got my office. But yeah, no, I look at it like also like you're saying, I'd like to show it off to people to kind of be like, hey, isn't this cool? Like this is something you could do. You could start your own kind of collection,
Yeah. Well, Ray, okay. So why do you collect toys?
Oh god, because I became an adult and I realized I didn't have to care about people saying you collect toys. No,
that is the good thing is that when you get to be an adult and you don't have to answer to anybody anymore.
No. I remember like growing up in school, when you get to high school, you have the, there's the mentality, you'll of the, the culture around you, the high school mentality of, you're grown, you should be growing out of this stuff. And I even grew out of it for a bit. But when you get to be an adult and you have a disposable income, you become one of a few types of people. I don't want to narrow it down to two, but there's the type that only want to spend their money on purely practical things or their hobbies. And anytime, any hobby, you're going to spend an inordinate amount of money. Like, if your hobby is sports, you're going to spend a ton of money on, like, you're into baseball, you're going to buy expensive bats or tons
like
of
you're
baseball.
A professional, when you're not going to be, but you're going to go spend thousands of dollars to play baseball or tennis or golf or whatever.
I mean, it's a similar principle, except, I think the thing this a little bit different with toys, and it's with baseball too, because people collect, baseball memorabilia from, players they like, you collect your cards that are signed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's similar to toys. It's a physical representation of our love of things, of things that, give me, are meaningful to us. We grew up, like me and Austin talked about, with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 1990. That's, I still don't have all four. I hope one day to get all four, but I've got Leo and Raph and Casey Jones. And that's a great little, it's a little representation of me, from, when I was, a little kid. And this movie for me still holds up. I still think it's great. But, I have those little things, set up on my shelf over there. And it's just, and they're not things I ever plan to sell. I'm not a collector who gets things purely, with an intent that I'm ever going to sell them again. So it's just me getting a thing that has personal meaning to me, a personal, tangible, visual image, of something that I love, and I can, just display it because it's like a celebration of that thing I love. So it's kind of that simple. I got a little addicted for a bit, and I got out of that real quick. I think we talked about that a while back. I think the closest I got to being addicted was when McFarlane started the Justice League pack, and I almost got all of that. And then out of that, when I realized how much I spent on getting through that pack, and there's like one or two figures from that I still haven't even put up or taken out of the box.
Oh wow!
And it's that kind of broke that that mentality. So I just want to get the things that I'm gonna want and I'm gonna want to set up. So
yeah, I had to figure out that there's differences in what you truly treasure and then FOMO. Like, 'cause there's a lot of FOMO because I'll see stuff and oh man, these sets look so cool and I just want to buy them all. I think I learned my lesson with Force Awakens when that came out. When I started realizing that number one, it's hard to buy everything, but you'll act like oh I need this, and then when you buy it, you look at it and you're not even satisfied with it half the time. It's like
you didn't need the Crimson Corsair.
You
didn't need the Crimson Corsair.
So it's like, I just kind of, it made me say, look, what is it that you really want? And that's pretty much that kind of helps me with keeping focus on how I really want to, like what I really want to collect, so that's why it's very easy for me to kind of narrow down to things that are, strictly Star Wars, Star Trek, or something like my Ninja Turtles collection and stuff like that. So it's, or things that were just specifically from when I was a child that I truly, truly was into, like Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, but really the core was like Batman, Ninja Turtles, and Ghostbusters. I mean, those are like the things I really focus on in terms of nostalgic collecting.
Yeah. Because the word nostalgia, has really gathered like a negative connotation over the years.
Really? Okay.
You don't think so?
No, I mean I use it all the time because I am nostalgic about lots of things.
I would say like a lot of people will use it as criticism towards a lot of movies and TV shows will see there's the terms nostalgia baiting, stuff like that, where it's basically just throwing something on the screen that someone would recognize from from the past, just so they can point
Michael
at it.
Keaton, Batman.
Yeah, even
much.
that you can call it oh god, I forgot where I'm going with this.
Well, no,
Sorry.
I mean, I get what you're saying
but-
though. It's basically like nostalgia is one thing,
Yeah. But you can also it's just a celebration of something that you truly enjoy. I have figures of things that of game from games and stuff that I really really loved enough to a point where yes, I would want a figure of a character from this. Like I have an Ultimate Nathan Drake figure from the Uncharted games, and I have Joel and Ellie from Uncharted 2 or from The Last of Us Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Just things that mean that much to you. In those, right here even. I have an old McFarlane figure I got this years ago from a TV show that I absolutely love. Kiefer Sutherland as Jack
So
Bauer in
cool.
24.
Oh yeah, 24.
That
So
was a
cool.
show that was like one of my defining shows through like high school and college. Just like this really great, action thriller that took place over a day. It's just that had an impact on me, just in terms of like storytelling that I really enjoyed.
I don't know. I have an addictive personality. I'm pretty sure I do, because it's like I went to see Dungeons and Dragons, and it's like now
You're thinking about Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm thinking about Dungeons and Dragons. Right?
I mean, that's okay.
I'm thinking about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm thinking about, okay, so there's not that big of a selection with Dungeons and Dragons as far as toys go, but hey, Mythic Legions looks really good over here, So let me jump into this, and I've already bought 2. I mean, it's crazy. I got 2 on the way coming to me, and $50 figures, and I'm like, and I wonder why my wife gets mad at me.
Well, if you want to start your Dungeons and Dragons collecting, there's a great Driz Dwarden figure on Hasbro.
Oh yes, I know.
It's a fantastic figure. We still haven't even taken it out of the box yet. My wife,
I really want that figure.
but she does. She feels like she would tame it if she actually opened it up. I think she really appreciates how good it looks in the box.
I pre-ordered it and
You did?
canceled.
Oh yeah, you did. I forgot.
I pre-order. I do this a lot. I pre-order lots of stuff and cancel, because by the time when you pre-order something, it's like usually 6 to 8 months
Ways out,
away
yeah.
from
Especially
coming
with
out.
Hasbro. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've already changed my focus because the latest movie has come out to make me change my focus. I don't know what it is about me that and when I hook onto something too, it's like, okay, I got to get it all. And I think it goes back to the Steve Sansweet freaking mentality. It's like one day I'm gonna have a museum. This is like a conversation me and my wife have all the time. I'm like, did you notice that so and so in town is for sale? That building, and it's like, how am I gonna get $200,000 for a building ever?
Hey, all right, okay. So let's pose this question to you because you brought up the Steve Sansweet Museum. Let's see if this is try a little therapy here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Ashley, say you had a museum.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
but let's also say the person that comes in that museum, the first guest, is you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to see in there? What would you see that you appreciate?
Right now, I think it would be generic action figures.
Just generic.
Just, but it's got to be them all. It's got to be all of them, right? It's got to be, here's the DC section over here. Here's the Marvel section. Here's the G.I. Joe section. Here's the Transformers or whatever. As you walk through this 20,000 square foot museum that I have in my head, it's ridiculous, but in the back of my head, I think that I'm really going to do this one day.
Well, that's the thing. I think really what you would probably benefit from would be owning a toy store. Like if we own one together, because just think about it, it would be, you get to play with all of it as it comes and goes, but you still, I mean, for the most part, it's stock that you're going to sell. and you'll see collector's items that come in, but you do spend a lot of money. It'd be a scary business to get into because I don't know how they make money off of it. You have to probably focus in on making the money through cards or video games while also selling.
Here's the secret: they're all fronts, they're all shells, they're all doing meth, they're all
pretty much. Hey,
no,
not far off.
It's not Breaking Bad at all.
but yeah, I do have to get a rein on this. I have to rein this in, right? Because I am spending. I see it. My wife gets on to me enough. I'm starting to get it. Like, okay, you spent $300 this month. You spent $400 this month. Sorry, no, I won't do it again until next month. Just like my haul for the week. These G.I. Joe Ultimates. So I got all 4 at $55, $52 a pop.
But did you get these out of like that you actually love these characters? Like each of these individual characters that you got enough that you would want to display them? Or was there FOMO involved in it?
No, there's not.
Like you had to complete a set, that sort of thing.
Yes. The pre-order went out a long time ago, right? These like some point last year, like at the beginning of last year almost. But the problem is, yes, I used to love that G.I. Joe cartoon. I came home every afternoon from school and I would watch G.I. Joe and Transformers. These are based on that cartoon, so they look just like the cartoon. Yeah, I want these figures. Maybe not so much the Cobra Bat, but the other 3. Yeah, and of course I got to get the bat if I'm getting the other 3. Right? You got to have the whole set. That's the problem.
Do you have to have this? But see, there's the question. There was part of it right there. You said you had to have the whole set, but you didn't.
Yeah, I had to.
You didn't have to.
But in my mind, I do. I have to have it because I can't display. I can't display them without that one person missing.
But I'd say anytime that you're having this kind of issue, I always look at the big thing. People talk about, especially when it's something like addiction. Is first big step recognizing the problem, recognizing that the problem is there. And that's a good step. That's always a big first part.
Yeah. I need to recognize I'm never going to be Steve Sansweet of anything, right? And I need to recognize that I'm going to have to slim down, obviously. Like I could probably, I easily have probably $10,000 just sitting up here right now in stuff. I could probably move everything, probably even more than that, if I wanted to, but I can't do it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you go ahead. Austin.
No, I was just going to say, what I do is I just kind of think about the overall, like, is it a flavor of the minute, or is it going to be something I want to display for years and years to come? So it's like, I always just try to come, like, especially if let's say you just watched a movie you loved, I always kind of just hone in on a favorite character and I'll buy their toy, but I'm not going to buy like the whole set, that sort of thing. But at the same time, I also feel like, God, when you buy DC figures, for example, like I'm going to buy the Flash or something.
Yeah.
Well, how many Flashes do you think they're going to have? They're going to have, that's just this Flash. And then the next movie is going to have another Flash, and the movie after that. So to me, that's where it starts to become tricky. And it's like, I don't even like the Flash that much. Like in the movie, he wasn't even the best part of the movie. It was this character, stuff like that. You always think about, you have those, at least me, I always have those conversations in my head.
Yeah.
But,
I need to have more of those conversations.
That's what you got to do. Actually, you got to talk to yourself more. You got to learn how to talk, and you got to learn how to listen.
You see a grown man in the toy aisle, no, you can't do this. Yes, I can do this. No, I can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm like talking to myself, like, yeah, you do this. Hey, you got to do. I don't know.
All right, Billy, move away from
Billy, don't go down that aisle. The crazy man.
I think we're going way over our time for tonight. So I think what we'll do is, how about we segue the conversation into what did we cave and buy this week?
Yeah.
With our stuff.
I've already shown mine. So
you're not going to take them out of the box?
No, I mean it's too much because then I got to review them. So
okay. I get that's true. I get that. I guess I'll show what I got here. I'm sure y'all remember the last time I showed that
yes,
they had gotten
your
Bowser, which is awesome. But
Topical.
whoops,
This
that is
movie
cool.
just came out.
I forgot the water's
You
out.
forgot
so
to
I
pour
don't
the
have
water in to get
Oh,
the
no.
smoke effect.
But I finally completed, at least for me, I found Mario and
Oh, you
Luigi.
completed the set, didn't you?
For
Austin?
me, I said I had to have Mario, Luigi, and Bowser, and so this is what I got. And I'm gonna stop. I don't need any other ones. But I was like, I've never had a Mario toy. Like I always had I've never had a Mario toy or anything. I think I had like an eraser or something. But I've always wanted an official Mario figure of some kind. And these come along, and they're just really well detailed and everything. I'm like, this will be the ones I get. And Target on sale, they were $12.99 a piece. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah,
Sweet.
great deal. But yeah, man, I mean, they're really well done. Each of them, they usually come with like a just one little item. Like Luigi came with a non-functioning flashlight, and Mario comes with a functioning plunger. You can plunge your own toilet at home. And
So is that like are those Jazzwares?
Jack Specific, yeah,
Jack
they
Specific, okay.
yeah, Jack Specific put these out, and I mean they've got like a bunch of different points of articulation, as you can see. They really did. They're really cool and posable, and the eye feature. If you really can't see it here, but the eyes kind of follow you. So if you,
sweet.
you move around, the eyes will kind of
It's that
look at you
creepy
from
little
each.
concave
Yeah,
design.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
cool.
like no matter which angle you're looking at, it looks like Mario's looking at you. So it's just, but yeah, it's these are really cool. I mean, they've got a Princess Peach and a like a Toad character that's out that you can get, and I'm sure after the movie, since it's out now, I bet the next waves will be like Donkey Kong, Yoshi, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yep.
What about you, Ray? What you got?
Yep.
Oh,
what you got, Ray?
I can show I got one new thing, and I can show what I got last week on ORM, being that wasn't this show.
Yeah. go ahead.
I got from the new Hasbro collection of the, what do they call it? The Adventure Collection, I believe is what it's called. But Indiana Jones from Raiders of the
so
Lost Ark.
beautiful.
I can't get too detailed with this stupid camera. But yeah, great detail. We got his little, all the other stuff's in the box right now. But yeah, these are accessories that I have on him. And the hat doesn't come off.
What other pieces come with him?
He comes with a whip that is unfurled, that's unraveled.
Okay.
He comes with two pieces of a arc that you can build if you get all the other ones in the set, which I'm not going to do.
Build an arc. Okay.
No. No. And he comes with the little idol from the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh yeah,
And,
I remember that.
And I think he comes with an extra set of hands.
So are those glove hands on him or no?
He comes with two sets of hands. No, these are bare hands.
Does he come with a glove hand at all?
No, not according to the box.
Sometimes he has gloves on, so
maybe in one of the other, maybe in like the Temple of Doom or the, I don't know. Does he wear gloves in Last Crusade?
I can't remember. I know he wore gloves. I think in Raiders.
Yeah, I think he did in Raiders, especially during the fight with the was it Nazi by the airplane?
Oh yeah, the mechanic.
Yeah.
And the other figure I got from Star Wars, their I guess whatever, but it's Black Series, but it's part of their comic adaptation collection. But I got Mara Jade.
Oh, that is so. I'm so jealous of her, man. That's so cool that you got her.
Yeah, it's a really, really well done figure. Hair is pretty awesome on it.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah, she's got her holster for her little blaster that she carries. And what's cool in this is her belt has a little hook right here.
Yeah.
And her lightsaber, I don't know if you can see it, but the lightsaber actually has like a little hole right here. So it actually doesn't have that kind of little stick on. It just it can just dangle off of it. I guess it's in response to that, I guess it's out now. I pre-ordered it on Hasbro.com a while back, right when I first heard about it, and it just shipped out this past week and showed up about two or so days ago. So it may be out. I mean, I had the Luke Skywalker from The Mandalorian. I have that pre-ordered with Hasbro, and it was supposed to ship at the first of this month. I haven't heard any news about that, so I don't know. Hasbro is weird about shipping out their pre-orders. So,
Yeah,
It may be out. It might not be out.
I was going to say it looks like I should get the McFarlane toys on the 18th. Looks like that's when they arrive. But my wife has the Harry Potter, and I've got the Wicked Witch.
I saw in that set. Isn't there a Ted Lasso figure?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I haven't seen the show. I need to watch it.
Yeah,
so.
I love the show. I don't know if I'd like it enough to grab a figure of Ted Lasso, but it's a good enough show where I would debate it. Maybe I would have to know where I'd want to set them up at.
Hey, TCP. Yeah, I've got those two sitting on the shelf, and I need to open them. I haven't opened them. Dude Thomas is not like one of my favorites, so it's kind of hard. All right, so that's probably going to wrap it up, right?
I think so. That's all the toy life I got tonight.
Gold Label Beast Boy. That's not bad.
Oh, well, good. I haven't been able to find the Gold Label Beast Boy, so one day, maybe I'll find it.
Good one.
All right, that's going to wrap us up. I guess any last parting words? Any parting words for the...
I just say learn to speak to yourself more, Ashley. Learn to communicate. Learn to listen to yourself, and stop with that FOMO.
I do have FOMO bad.
If you see 3 out of 4 things you want, you don't have to get the 4th.
But it was such a good deal. I got the 4th. All right. We're gonna close it out for the night.
Later days, people. Later days.
Toy life. To catch these ghosts, you need the real Ghostbusters.
Nice landing, Han Solo.
Spaceships and Luke Skywalker sold separately. Batteries not included.